What's going on, everybody? UFC on ESPN5 is right around the corner. We are getting hit with these cards every single week. I am an addict for the UFC. By now, you should be too. Let's get into it.
They say I'm the best at what I do. After me, it's 5, 4, 3, and 2. Sometimes I think they all gum bumping. So I tell them all to put that on something.
Robbie Lawler is fighting Colby Covington for a 5-round main event. A lot of people are going to go on the Colby hype train and talk about, well, RDA lost to Colby and RDA beat Robbie. MMA math does not work, and the styles and other factors played a key part into that fight. Robbie Lawler tore his ACL in the first round or second round of that fight and still gave RDA a competitive fight. What would have happened if he didn't tear his knee? Probably wouldn't have been as good for RDA. And conversely, Colby Covington's style is similar to Josh Koscheck's in the sense that he has great wrestling and even better cardio that neutralizes a lot of these better strikers. But Robbie is a veteran. There is a spectrum to this game, and Robbie Lawler is on the far right of that spectrum. For you guys, it would be your far left. He is an experienced and powerful fighter. He's probably going to be the hardest hitter that Colby Covington ever fights in his entire career, which is why I'm giving it to Robbie Lawler. There might be the first ever murder on national television because of this fight. I am picking Robbie Lawler by first round KO, probably second round KO if he cannot finish it early. Either way, Robbie's going to win this fight. I don't care. Another fight that I want to talk about is Jim Miller and Clay Guida. Clay Guida took Brian Ortega into deep waters and almost beat him. If Brian didn't catch him with that knee and finish the fight, he would have beat him. And I think Jim Miller, we always associate him as a legend, but he's always been around legends, so therefore maybe we get it confused. He's been on all the top-selling pay-per-views except for the ones where Conor McGregor is on top and headlining the card. But I don't think his skill set mirrors the credit that we give him. I'm going with Clay Guida by decision. Another fight on this card that I want to talk about is Kennedy Nzechukwu and this guy named Darko. I've watched Kennedy Nzechukwu fight a few times outside of the UFC and in. He does not listen to his corner's advice. He does not follow the training and the drilling, and he does not ever listen to anything anyone else has to say. He's trying to knock you out, and if he can't knock you out, he will lose, which is what happened in this previous fight. I don't think he's changed, and I think he's going to get embarrassed again. I am just so disappointed because I was selling my soul on this man's ability. I made a video about it, and other Nigerian UFC fighters, you're going to make some noise, and he made the list. Unfortunately, I chose wrong. If he comes back and finishes his fight, I will eat my words, but I don't see that happening. Another fight that we want to talk about is Mickey Gall versus this guy named Salim. We are seeing a lot of these fighters where Dana White got from looking for a fight series, and let's be honest, he chose a lot of these fighters because of their marketability. And that marketability is the reason why they are not winning these fights, because their skill set did not match what he projected what they could do with their image. You see it happen to Sage, you see it happen to Paige, and you're seeing it happen to Mickey. Mickey just fights more frequently, so we see him getting better, and he takes time in between camps, but he's more active, so he's gotten better. But the man just lost to Diego Sanchez, and I do not see him winning this fight. I don't think he can wrestle him down to the ground and get the rear naked choke. We're seeing a lot of these fighters who can just get rear naked chokes and we think they're great fighters. Like, no, you're just a great wrestler and you're great at taking the neck when they give you your back. I think Mickey Gall loses by decision. I want to talk about Lauren Murphy versus Mara Borella. I'm having an issue with a lot of these fighters in the 135-pound division and the 125-pound division for women. Here's why. The 115 doesn't count because it's stacked and they fought for their rankings. When Ronda Rousey first brought women into the UFC, they were so time constrained to try and put together these rankings. They were just handing rankings out to fighters based off of what they did in the previous organization. Fair enough, but what they should have done is allowed them to fight for at least one go-around and then establish rankings based off of that. A lot of these fighters have been given rankings and they didn't have to earn them or defend their spot, and because everybody in the division was either low on talent or shallow, they didn't shift down the rankings because they lost. You got a person like Alexis Davis, the number 7th ranked fighter in the world, fighting how she fought this past weekend against Max Holloway and Frankie Edgar. Are you serious? No. Lauren Murphy is probably going to lose this fight, and when and if she does, Mara Borella is going to take her ranking, whether Lauren is ranked or not. I'm also being very salty because Lauren Murphy is the reason why Miriam Nakamoto tore her knee in Invicta and couldn't fight for 8 years. So I'm salty about that. Now, I'm calm now. I'm calm. I got some few things to tell you guys about, too, that's in the works. I'm making a highlight reel for Macy Chazon. She's a 135-pounder who's going to take the division by storm. Explosive, tall, rangy, intelligent, always getting better. I'm also going to put together a post-fight for this up-and-coming fight card this weekend as well. And be on the lookout for a few other things. I do everything. I'm an urban renaissance man. I am here to serve you because I am a servant. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kairos Bond. This is Kairos. Have a great day.